Welcome to iPad Pros, the show all about using your iPad to be productive and get work done. I'm Tim Chen, host of the show. This episode of iPad Pros is sponsored by Agenda. Learn more at www.agenda.com.
What I would love, what they should do is you should be able to go to the iPhone purchasing page. They should just have a color picker, and you pick whatever color at whatever hue, brightness, saturation you want.
Welcome back to another episode of iPad Pros. We're joined today once again by Matt Birchler of A Better Computer, and you can find that along with his other work at www.birchtree.me. In this episode, we'll be diving into all of the things announced at Apple's September 2023 event, dubbed by Apple Wonderlust. If you want to support this podcast, the best thing to do is go out and download Agenda, who is sponsoring this episode of iPad Pros. I'll be sharing a bit later in this episode how I use Agenda to collaborate with guests on the podcast. But for now, head on over to agenda.com to learn more and get started with this awesome app that I've used for years at this point to produce the podcast. Another way to support the podcast and get early access to both iPad Pros and Vision Pros is by supporting the Patreon at www.patreon.com/iPadPros or by subscribing in Apple Podcasts. My great thanks to everyone that supports the show there. And finally, as a reminder, I now do a podcast all about the Apple Vision Pro, which you can find at visionpros.fm and on all of the various podcast platforms. The September episode is now out with a discussion about Vision OS with the CEO of the Omni Group, Ken Case. So go out and listen to that if you haven't had a chance to yet, and I can't wait to see what Ken and the team at the Omni Group come up with for Vision OS next year. With that, here's my discussion with Matt, all about the Wonderlust event. Welcome back to the podcast, Matt.
Hey, welcome, or happy to be here.
Yeah.
I was about to welcome you to your own podcast, but
thank you.
I'm very happy to be here.
Great to be back. And we are joined today, as we often do, to discuss the latest Apple keynote event, video, I guess we can call them now.
Presentations,
yeah. There you go. And this is the Wonderlust event, as Apple called it.
Yes, which do we know exactly what they meant by that yet?
I'm not
Is it
quite
just
sure.
vibes?
You wondered by these things that you lust after.
Okay.
Sure, right?
That works.
That makes sense? Yeah.
Totally.
And they made a very clear opening. This is all about Apple Watch and the iPhone. Don't get excited for anything else remotely coming, because it's not happening.
Yes. Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did some like old school updates almost.
Yeah,
like, it wasn't
Mac.
quite like a retail update,
Right.
but it was like
no retail update. They didn't have any charts or anything, but they told us, remember those Macs that came out? We have the Mac Studio, Mac Pro, and 15-inch MacBook Air. They're great. Go buy them.
Yep. And remember that Vision Pro we announced that's coming in a few months?
Yeah, developers
it's
love
still
them.
on track.
Michael Flexibits, I think, was on there. And it was good to hear Tim say early next year. We are on track for early next year. With the App Store coming in the fall for developers, I really think we could be looking at January through March timeframe for this thing. Is my guess.
Yeah, it sounds like they probably want to get it out as soon as possible. January is maybe a little too early, but
maybe they might announce
February, March.
January for shipping in a month or two. Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder what the earliest in the year Apple's ever released a new product is. Like the Apple Watch was April.
Yeah,
the iPhone
we were all
was
thinking
summer.
April.
I think that was
like
June.
iPad was April as well. So when they said early,
Okay,
it's like,
yep.
it's going to be April, isn't it? But maybe not. Who knows? And then they had to open it, they had this very heartfelt thing of Apple saving lives with SOS and crash detection and the Apple Watch. The last one hit me the hardest with the baby and the mother with the early delivery and stuff. That was like, Apple's pulling those heartstrings with real life stories.
Yeah, they. I wish I'd been counting the years. They've been doing this for a long time now. Every time there's a here's how Apple's going to save your life, or how we have saved your life already.
Yeah. And I love that they're adding to the SOS satellite thing, the roadside assistance ability, which is huge. This is like, I'm probably not I could, when I'm on a hike, need, airlifted out, but I think most people, this will be the more useful thing. Call AAA when you're out of cell phone range. This is an obvious. And I think pretty sure we're triple members, and it looked like it's included with their membership if you use this. And it's free for up to 2 years after purchase, so we'll know next year what these original iPhone 14 people have to look forward to.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Yeah, well, I mean, it's definitely a more mainstream thing, right? Like, you're going to be driving down like an old country road or like through just across the country. I drove for like 10 hours this weekend. So
my father-in-law lives in a town where I get no cell phone service whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
So if I go there, which is like 90 minutes away, I don't have cell phone service in that town.
Yeah. But I think that's definitely a more resonant thing with more people. I think that, you know how you go into the forest with no cell coverage and no idea if you're going to survive? That's a little more niche, maybe. Yes. So a little more down to earth, this perk.
Yeah, and very, very smart. Using AAA, that seems like the only one in the States. If you're in the States, that's what you get, right? I mean,
I've never heard of any other one, honestly.
Right. Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how you hook up your membership with maybe there's probably some setting in the iPhone where you hook that information into it because, right? It seems like otherwise you have to deal with it after the fact, which seems messy.
Yeah. And was that exclusive to new devices or is that just part of the SOS?
I think it's just part of the SOS. And so if you have SOS, it'll work. And
Thanks.
Yeah. And Apple Watch is where they started the show. And we have a Series 9. And the big thing is the S9 chip. 60% more CPU cores, I think is what they said. 30% faster GPU for all your gaming on the watch. And a 2x faster neural engine. So you can do on-device Siri and dictation, which I thought it already did. I guess not.
I swear they've been saying that for years and years.
I could have sworn the watch already did this.
Maybe it was just the iPhone, but like I swear it's one of those things they say every year, and I'm like, didn't it already do that?
Could have sworn this was already a thing. They didn't do any battery improvements. Same 18-hour battery, so this is all about performance and new abilities like this. And dictation is 25 times faster as well because it's on device and whatnot. New abilities like you can now double tap to do stuff, which was an accessibility feature.
And it still is.
This is more baked in and streamlined and probably more accurate is why it's probably...
Yeah, so I'm really curious. I'm installing the WatchOS release candidate right now, and I want to try this out. Because
you're wondering
the way
if
it works
it's the same.
I'm wondering if it's the same. So I don't have the new watches, obviously, but I can like the double pinch. Like it works on my like regular Ultra that I already have, and you can tell it to do like these like 20 different things, but none of them are like tap the main button, which is the thing they talked about,
or open.
So I'm
the
wondering
widgets control center thing.
Yeah,
which seems really
so
cool.
I'm wondering if that'll be possible.
Right,
in accessibility
maybe they added
features.
That. Or maybe
Hopefully.
it's hidden away just for that watch.
But
we
will find out.
Cool. Being able to scroll through widgets and all that stuff.
Yeah, I did think it was kind of interesting. Like to me, this was the nose feature. Like they showed a bunch of situations, and I was like, my nose would do that today. I would tap the thing with my. I can't use my other hand. Okay, tap my nose.
Yeah. Yep.
So. It's definitely a kind of useful thing. I think it kind of, I guess, reminds me of the M2 iPad Pros, where they added the pencil hover feature, where it's like, okay, that is nice. It's not solving a huge problem, but it is a nice quality of life thing.
Totally.
So not a reason to buy it necessarily, but a nice little thing.
If your watch screen is wet, it'll be easier to interact with it in that way.
That's true.
Yeah.
Wonder if it works underwater.
I would imagine not. Maybe. To the demo of that, I don't even know. They did a rock climbing.
My muscles, blood, whatever they're tracking is still doing the same thing, right?
Yeah, sure. The screen on the Series 9 is now up to 2,000 nits, which is the same as the Apple Watch Ultra version 1. and goes down to just 1 nit. I love this range. It's great. And this is the one thing I will always encourage me to get a new watch. I'm not getting this one, but the brighter the screen, that's the one complaint I always have, because when I'm outside, even, it just never be bright enough. Just have this thing be 10,000 nits, just one as bright as the sun, and they're working towards it. The Apple Watch Ultra 2 that we'll talk in a bit upped it to 3,000 nits, so they're taking advantage of this same chip plus the better hardware of the Ultra to make this even brighter. So that makes it the Ultra the one to get still with the brighter screen. But has a new pink aluminum. And then the other colors are mostly the same, it seems like.
Yeah, the pink looked nice. They showed a lot of pink things today. I think the iPhone was pink. The one on, if you go to the iPhone 15 page on Apple's website, the pink one is the one they're highlighting.
Yep. Yeah, pink's a nice color. I mean, not my cup of tea. I was especially angry when the Apple Watch like Series 3 or whatever came out, and it was like a pink gold, and they removed the bronze gold. It's like, then a year later they came out with the stainless steel gold. It's like, okay, I got to get that now. I mean, that's the gold I want. But yeah, I mean, this seems like a modest update, as it was basically as rumored. The only thing we didn't really know is the brighter screen and this tapping thing, and yeah, that's about it, right?
Yeah, the Series 9 and the Ultra 2, they're fine updates, is my impression. Certainly
the
not.
chip will last another 5 years for them, or whatever it is.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things that if you bought a watch last year, it's not slow, but
no.
People keep these for more than a year, more than 2 years. Like, it's probably like 3 or 4 years people go. I mean, I know someone who just upgraded from the Series 2.
Yeah, I have a friend that has a Series 3, and at some point he's going to update, and that'll be a huge update.
Yeah.
It's always a good time to update when there is a new chip. So if you have an very old watch, having a new chip will ensure it's going to have the maximum shelf life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you don't get like a buyer's remorse because, again, the next year's watch is probably not going to be a huge upgrade. It's just 10% better every time, and it adds up.
Except when they come out with the Apple Watch X, the total redesign with the micro LED, whatever.
We'll see. We'll be here next year to talk about it, I hope.
Yeah, who knows when that's hitting. Next, they, in between segments, they had this environmental comedy sketch that you'd find in SNL with Tim Cook psyching himself up. I thought this was very funny, in a perfect way to kind of do this in a fun, non-patronizing way, I thought.
Yeah, this easily the most controversial part of the event, I think, based on my Mastodon feed.
Yeah.
Some people loved it, some people hated it, some people really hated it. I thought it was kind of fun.
Did this actress who played Mother Nature play Mother Nature to anything else? I'm trying to think, like, if she was in some, like, TV show as Mother Nature, or like, I don't know, was she a Horizon actress from as like one of the goddesses or something?
I don't think so.
Okay,
but
yeah, I know she's an actress that was in the podcast miniseries or show on Apple TV Plus.
Yeah, was that a Truth Be Told?
Yeah, but during this segment, they were going through the list of things: plastic getting gone, recycled aluminum. I love the iPod Shuffle joke. That just hit perfectly. I would have loved if they announced an iPod Shuffle in this sketch as like a thing, an Apple Music Shuffle that just shuffles music from your Apple Music library. Be great.
That would be kind of fun, just as like a novelty product, right?
Yeah.
Like, they shouldn't make it.
They shouldn't, but it'd be a fun stocking stuffer.
It would be fun.
When you
used
to have Apple products that could be stocking stuffers, or they're not super expensive, like a shuffle.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can even configure it like on your iPhone. So like this shuffle is set to this playlist. Like, you imagine you have like 5 shuffles. You could like have them engraved, and you could have a little app like you have for the Apple Watch, and have different like settings for what's going on them. This could be a thing, Apple. Let's bring it back. it was interesting. Recycled materials in everything, like batteries. I didn't know you could put it recycled. I guess you could in cobalt in batteries, which is, I guess, 100% cobalt recycled in the phone this year, and they're going to match. This is so when you charge your Apple Watch Series 9 or later, they're going to match that very little bit of power that you take in some kind of project to like generate, I don't know, some kind of offset thing to make this carbon neutral. I don't know. Seemed interesting.
Yeah, it was a lot to take in.
So that means they're tracking how
good,
much power we're using,
but,
I guess, on the watches. Which,
yeah, I guess that's the
which is fine.
That's the
but
pessimistic take.
Yeah, I wonder, like, who's this guy Tim who's like killing his watch by lunchtime and fast charging it up?
It sounds like a great user to do an interview with to understand
right? Yeah,
how they're using their product.
Yes, and they're going to ship more stuff on water. There are going to be new carbon neutral boxes on products that are carbon neutral, and the Apple Watches are the first ones to do that.
Yeah, and their listings on the website are pretty prominently showing when you've got like an Apple Watch configuration that's carbon neutral.
Okay.
It shows it pretty clearly there, which is nice.
Yeah, that's cool. And then fine woven is the new material that's been rumored. Looks very nice. I want to feel this thing to see what it's like. And then Hermes is not dead, but they have new bands and a new face to complement this. Just one new face, I think, for Hermes. The Nike face looked really cool. That little globe icon face, which comes to all watches now. I'm looking forward to using that thing. That looks very nice. And their bands,
I really like
great.
that one.
The flakes and stuff.
Yeah, those look cool. I'm kind of looking through the new watch bands now, and it doesn't seem as disruptive as we were kind of wondering if it would be, like, because there were all these rumors of they're getting rid of all the leather bands and they're getting rid of...
The Link bracelet is... You can't buy one, can you, Matt? The stainless steel Link bracelet, they're just kind of phasing that out without telling anyone.
I don't know if they're phasing them out. I can get one delivered in a couple days.
Locally? From a store?
Either option, it looks like. The black one, at least.
Interesting. That's so curious, because like yesterday you could not buy the Link bracelet, the black one. I think the silver one was still available.
Gotcha. Actually, yeah, now for me at least, they're all available September 22nd. So was that the day the new phones come out? Yeah. So it looks like they're all available the day the new watches ship.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Yeah, that's different. Yeah, that is new. Cool. That's funny.
Excellent.
Like, I wonder if that's coincidence or like they had a supply hiccup right before this event. That's funny to me.
But yeah, the new bands look good. The new Ultra, still just the 3 styles for the Ultra, and still just different 3 color options for each.
I would love...
And they're fine.
I think it'd be funny if the Nike bands somehow had one of the bands made out of old shoes as recycled material. That's just a thought
old
I
shoes.
had.
Yeah, that would be good.
That'd be kind of funny.
Truly.
Right? Yeah, there's rubber and stuff in there. I don't know.
Yeah, like an Air Jordan variant.
Air Jordan
with
band,
like... You could definitely sell that for $50 more.
Right. I'm curious how the new material for the woven... The stretchy solo loops, the yarn ones feel. It's a new formulation, it sounds like. So I'm curious on that.
Yeah, those are always like my comfort bands. Like they're just really nice.
Yeah, that's what I sleep in. It's my kind of casual band if I just want to like, yeah, because I've tried the rubber solo loops and I've had a bunch of those break. The yarn ones, they just get looser, which that's fine.
Oh, yeah. The solo woven ones.
Yeah. Those I really like.
Yeah, I love those for the first like 2 months, and then they stretch out.
Yeah, and I'm fine with them stretched out for like sleep tracking and just like, casual day with them. No, yeah. I do and those dry really quickly if you're showering with it.
Yeah, I was gonna say you can also, if you need to shrink them up, run them through the laundry and dry them up, and they will.
I had not thought about that.
They'll look nicer and they'll shrink up a little bit.
Yeah, my dad, he lives in Arizona, and he didn't realize how dirty his band was, and he showered with it on, and it cleaned itself off. It's like, oh, that worked.
Genius.
Yeah, right. And then they announced with the Series 9 advanced cycle tracking, probably part of this chip. I have no idea what's changed there, so that's hitting the new Apple Watches. And HomePod integration, which in the past, Apple Watch frustratingly could not talk to the HomePod in any way. I couldn't I couldn't listen to something with my AirPods on the watch directly, or Outcast on the watch and send it to the HomePod. Sounds like now you will, hopefully.
Yeah, I hope that is well implemented. I don't know how much you do with the iPhone version of it, but I always find it's a little frustrating.
We have it turned off on the HomePod that supports it because it sits on a desk and it's next to a stand. So you put your phone down the stand and instantly take over, which we don't want.
Yep.
So we turned it off. Yeah, and the Ultra 2, there is no black finish.
No.
River is wrong. The night mode is now ambient light activated, so as it gets darker, it'll just automatically turn on, which seems nice. Before you had to turn something?
You used to? I actually noticed this literally yesterday. The current Ultra also does this with that Wayfinder face.
Okay, this is a change in the betas that recently happened.
It does, yeah. So whatever beta was out as of last week, if it's dark enough, the whole Wayfinder face turns red, and then it comes back.
That's one of the features I would love to have on the regular watches. I know it's not
It would be, yeah.
Yeah, but it's nicer at night. Come on. Yeah.
It is. I wish more watch faces implemented it as well.
You'll now double the watch faces that support that. Because hopefully you'll get this modular Ultra watch face as well. Which, does that face look more appealing to how you use your watch?
Yeah, I think just it uses all of the, I don't know what they're called, but those the big circular complications, which is my favorite style. Whereas the Wayfinder uses those kind of corner ones that are a little harder to read. So I just like as many circular complications as I can.
It sounds like this face wraps around the edges more or something like that. I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, we'll see. Sometimes they're this is new and exclusive and only possible here. And it's well...
Yeah, the Series 7 has that curved... The Ultra doesn't curve around. It's just right?
Ultra does not curve, no.
Yeah,
so
you guys get the contour face that works on the Ultra, even though there's no curve around
it does.
the side?
Yep. Yeah, not quite as
very
magical,
version
but...
of it. Yeah.
Yeah, listen, I'm an Ultra wearer, but I will go to bat for the curved edges on the normal Apple Watch. I think they're so much nicer in every single way. But the battery life on this thing is great.
Yeah, I have to charge mine at lunchtime. I would love an Ultra. Then flashlight boost, I don't know if that's new or just a feature of the Ultra. That was kind of in the ending slide there.
Yeah, that's pretty rad. Using this thing as a flashlight, especially
now goes
if you are taking
3,000 nits in the flashlight.
3,000 nits is nuts. 2,000, if you look at your watch while it's doing the flashlight and at full blast, it is painful. So I can't imagine what 3,000 nits is going to be like.
I saw this thing Merlin Mann shared on Mastodon. Evidently, you can do water temperature, use the Apple Watch Ultra as a bathtub thermometer. You can put it in temperature gathering mode, take it off your wrist. It keeps the screen active while in this mode and shows you the temperature and stuff while underwater.
Huh.
It's kind of cool. So play around with that. That could be a
interesting.
fun video for you, Matt, one day.
I'll be grilling tonight. I could maybe wrap it around chicken breast and see.
See how hot it gets. I know it senses temperature. I wasn't sure if the water is water and air. Does it do air as well, or just water temperature gathering?
I don't know. They've been very cagey with the temperature stuff.
Yeah.
I'm how accurate it is.
Right.
Not totally sure.
And then the SE is still available. Same price point, $249.
$399 or $799 for the Ultra. September 22nd for these, and you can order them today. And you are not updating for any of these small little tweaks.
Yeah, we should probably mention kind of our upgrade plan. So I'm an Apple Watch Ultra user for reasons that are mostly battery related.
Yeah, this was a surprise to me last year, because last year I thought you told me that you weren't getting one.
I wasn't going to. I lied to you on the podcast. Unintentionally. I thought it looked huge and ridiculous and no one would want it. And then I saw some pictures of it. I was like, that's not that ridiculous.
Yeah, it's not.
And so, yeah, Ultra Watch wearer, very happy with it. I do not plan on upgrading. Okay. These seem, if it's your time to upgrade, they seem like nice upgrades, but definitely not a year-over-year upgrade.
It's good they're updating the Ultra, it seems, on a yearly cadence. I like the naming Ultra 2. That seems like a very, it's not series, which is more formal, but just Ultra 2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, last year we were definitely worried, like, is this a kind of a one-off? Is it going to be one of those, like,
I think it's
every
sold
couple
so
years
well,
they update it?
Gonna really, I think it sold great.
I think it sold better than they expected. Like, they marketed it last year as, like, this is for hardcore, like, people, and it's just for everybody. It's fine.
Same with the Pro phones. Like, most people aren't professionals using their phones to shoot
That's
video
true.
for
That's
work
true.
Or whatever. Yeah. And anything else on the watch worth noting?
No. Yeah, they were the fine updates. I'm really hoping those watch faces come to all the existing models. But,
you'll find out later today when you're able to update the GM, I'd imagine.
Exactly.
Which those are out now if you are in the developer program.
This episode is sponsored by Agenda, which recently rolled out version 18. In this quick break, I want to share a little bit about how I use the collaboration feature in Agenda to create this podcast. For those that want a really deep dive into Agenda, I'd encourage you to go back and listen to episode 168 of iPad Pros, where I spoke with Alex, the co-founder of Agenda. So on to collaboration in Agenda. If you use Google Docs on your iPad, you know the experience isn't great, whether you use their native app or even in Safari. Agenda, on the other hand, is an incredible native app for iPhone, iPad, and the Mac. With version 16 of Agenda, they rolled out a very thought-out and rock-solid collaboration feature that lets you collaborate with any Agenda note using all of the tools you have in Agenda to create a rich note filled with images, Apple Pencil sketches, tables, and much more. This has been my go-to way to work with guests since the feature was introduced about 10 months ago. To collaborate on a note, you simply hit the little collaboration icon in the top right of the note next to the calendar icon. From there, you can invite anyone with a URL, or for those you've already collaborated with, you can pick them from a list of previous people you've worked with. If you use Agenda for both personal and work use, you can even set up different names to, say, share an Agenda note with the name Dad if you're collaborating with your children on a note, and then you can use your professional name for work collaborations. When you open an Agenda link, your web browser will show a very clear and straightforward process to get started with Agenda if you've never used the app before, and it will let you choose where in your Agenda library you want to store that note. Those you are sharing with can do full collaborations without spending a single penny, and do all of this from the free version of Agenda on iPad, iPhone, or the Mac. If you decide to stop sharing that note, you will keep a local copy of the latest version of that note, as will the people you've shared with. Data for the shared notes are encrypted before upload and when stored in the cloud. Agenda collaboration has become my new go-to way to work with guests for the podcast, and is a tool I can't imagine doing without for this show. If you haven't tried Agenda's collaboration, I'd really encourage you to give it a try. Collaboration is one of the many incredible premium features that the Agenda team continues to roll out, but as with all Agenda premium features, you just have to pay once, and you'll keep all the premium features offered when your year is up on that subscription. Or you can now opt for the new Lifetime Unlock, which will unlock the full power of Agenda on all your Apple devices with a single one-time purchase. To learn more, go to agenda.com. Download Agenda 18 today for free from the App Store. And my thanks again to Agenda for sponsoring this episode of iPad Pros. Learn more at www.agenda.com.
iPhone. That is next up. And we got the 15, which just overall, I'm impressed how much of the 14 Pro features made it to this year's phone. It's got dynamic island, a 48 megapixel camera that in some ways does more than mine because it can capture in 48 Heath, and 2000 nit brightness, which I think is outside, which I think is what my phone does. It does not have always on display or promotion, but outside of that, it's mostly the same as the old Pro phones, right?
Yeah, that was pretty much my takeaway is unless ProMotion and always on are things that you really want, this is a really good upgrade. This is most of the things that made the Pro phone a Pro phone. And yeah, like you said, with the 48 megapixel captures, you can do that on the 14 Pro, but you have to do it as a RAW file, and then it's a little inconvenient to convert that to a JPEG or a HEIF image that you can share actually somewhere. Yeah. So it's a nice quality of life thing. So I think these look pretty good.
I wonder what the capture time will be. 48 HEIF. It's got to be faster than the Pro RAW.
I hope so. Pro RAW is pretty slow, and then there's some third-party apps like Obscura lets you take 48 megapixel JPEGs. But it's like you hit the shutter and then you wait like 2 or 3 seconds. So it's definitely not the experience you would want from the official app. But yeah, it'll be exciting to see how well those capture, because that's great. 48 megapixels in the right circumstance, especially like on a bright sunny day. It's awesome.
Some gorgeous stuff I've gotten with mine. It's kind of mind blowing. Outside, some great stuff. They were big on the color infused glass. First ever, they're infusing the color all the way through where they can control the saturation. And with that great power, they make the most pastel-y colors ever in the world.
Now, I think the colors look great.
They look very nice Eastery colors, but I want like a deep, dark product red out of this technology.
Yeah, I mean, they should... What I would love, what they should do is you should be able to go to the iPhone purchasing page. They should just have a color picker, and you pick whatever color at whatever hue, brightness, saturation you want.
Absolutely.
They're going to not be able to make nearly as many of them,
but everyone will be much more happy.
Yes.
That'd be great.
But yeah, I think they look good. I think if you're looking for the blue one, I think the blue one is the only one that's kind of like, is that actually even blue? But the other one's like, I dig myself.
Yeah. And then rounded edges. This is a matte feature.
Yes.
So we'll be more comfortable, because the only non-rounded edge phone of this design that's comfortable are the minis, which Apple mercilessly killed. The 13 regular is still around, but the 13 mini is nowhere to be seen. They should have killed the 13, left the 13 mini alone. Just get a 14 if you want a phone that size. Anyways.
And really, the 13 and the 14 are the exact same phone anyway.
They really are. They really are. So, yeah, bad decision making, Apple.
Yeah, it's a bummer. I did pick up a 13 mini over the summer on a good deal, so I'm happy to have it, even though it's not the phone for me.
Yeah,
but I can see why people love it. It's nice, it's cute, it's easy to hold.
If I could have two phones, I would have this phone. Like if phone companies were able to do the Apple Watch thing of having multiple phones active, whereas like this, let me switch over to this one now. I would totally have a 13 mini as like a secondary phone. But no.
Yeah, I bought the 13 mini to have a second phone to install the betas on, so I didn't have to use my main phone.
Yeah.
Reader, 2 days afterwards, I installed the beta on my main phone as well. I made it basically zero time.
Now, there's this new 24 megapixel. They're taking the 48 megapixel camera and using it to create a 24 megapixel image. I could have sworn last year they were using the technology to make some kind of 12, or is this the same?
Yeah. So this caught my eye. I think this was for the pros only.
This was also seen on a screen, I thought, with the regular 15. I might be wrong.
Used for 24. Oh, maybe. No, you might be right. Okay, so with the understanding we were recording this immediately after, the news is fresh.
This is second.
It looks like it might be both of them. So it looks like definitely for the Pro, maybe for the normal one, when you just open the camera app and take a photo with the main lens, it'll be a 24 megapixel photo, whereas it's been 12 megapixels for years. Last year on the Pros, where it was the 48 megapixel, they would bring it down to 12 megapixels.
It was 12 last year, so they're actually using the 48 for
year.
something. Yeah,
yes,
that's so frustrating that they don't do software updates for the camera, because like this is something like that should be in the 14 Pro. Like
yeah. I wonder how they're doing it, but yeah, I mean, the upgrade is awesome. Like 12 megapixels is totally fine, but a lot of like once you hit 20 megapixels, I think that's a really great size to get like really crazy amounts of detail. And so that's what like my Canon camera shoots at 20 megapixels, and like I definitely notice the difference in some situations, and so it's great to have that on the phone just by default.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is awesome. Like this is what the upgrade should have been last year as far as like how it's using that sensor. Have the 48 as an option, and if not, it's going to look drastically better at 24, I think, than just being at 12.
Yeah, and I was going to say maybe it's processing, but it does look like
same
the normal
chip. Yeah,
the A16 can do it as well. So
yeah, who knows? And like last year, it's getting a 2x mode on the non-Pro phone.
Yes, which is awesome.
I use that all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me too. The 2x is often better than the 3x on the 14 Pro.
Yeah, it is.
in my experience.
Yeah, because it's a better sensor, and it's the
yeah.
perfect distance for a lot of the stuff.
Yeah, and they never quite say exactly, but it sounded to me like the sensor in the 15 is the same sensor that was in the 14 Pro.
That's what it sounds
year.
like. Yeah, and then the 15 Pro is using a second generation. 48 megapixel. And then this is very exciting. Portrait mode, something that is on my phone, but I rarely go into it. Instead, it's me kind of like cinematic video, where not even that, just any photo you capture will capture depth data. And you'll be able to, after the fact, choose if you want that to be portrait mode. And you can change who's selected as the person you want to focus on or animal. And this is awesome. This is what it should have been, because, often you'll like frame a perfect portrait mode photo, but a lot of times you just want to take a quick shot. You don't have time for all that. And this is just perfect.
Yeah, this was the dream of the Lytro camera.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember that little thing.
Yeah.
Where it would capture these really low quality images apparently, but after the fact you could bring it in and change the focus wherever you wanted, and now we can just do it in software. Yeah. It's pretty incredible.
And then 4K cinematic mode, I think that was on 14 Pros last year.
I think so. Yep. 4K 60 ProRes is new for the Pros this year though.
Okay.
Which if you want to wreck your storage, that's a great way to do it.
There you go. And we're getting the U2 chip in the Apple Watch. We didn't mention that, as well as the new phones. I'm not sure if they're calling it the U2 chip, but I'm going to call it that. It's 3 times, 3 times the range. And you can use your Apple Watch to find your iPhone as well, kind of like an AirTag, which the beeping just works for me. I don't need the little... But I guess, I don't know. I guess if it's true, something. And then you can use it to find your friends in Find My, which I don't know how far 3x the range is. It seems much, much better, but I'm curious what that range will be and how useful that'll be.
Yeah, I'm curious, because I feel like with at least doing it with my phone, I can be like 30 feet away and still get like a exact measurement for how far away I am. So 3x would be pretty far.
Yeah, so that could be helpful. It's also in a busy area. And then USB-C, they announced, isn't it great to have a single cable to charge your Mac, your iPad, your Nintendo Switch.
It is. It's great.
They did not mention the Switch, but yeah, it's great. So now it's on iPhone.
Yes.
And I'm guessing, is this on the spec sheet, Matt? Is this USB 2 speeds? I'd imagine it is, because they did not announce anything different. And they made a big deal about USB 3 speeds with the Pros with the chip.
That's a good thing to check. I did not see, but you're right. They did call it out for the Pro and didn't say a word.
And they mentioned it as part of the chip design, which has to make me think that this thing is still USB 2 speeds.
It's USB 2. Yep,
which
the spec sheet says USB 2.
At all, based on how they pitched USB 3 bringing this breakthrough.
which is fine. Like,
It
it is honestly not a huge deal,
No.
right?
Especially for the
really
baseline phone, that's fine.
Yeah. The real use case is for people who are doing like real big file moves, and almost nobody does that anymore. You're not syncing your phone to your computer
No, unless
anymore,
you're shooting
right?
live, big videos and stuff. Yeah.
Yep, exactly. And in those cases, yeah, you'll get the Pro phone and be okay.
Yeah. And they mentioned the AirPod Pro Gen 2 now has USB-C port on the case. You cannot buy this case at the time of recording standalone. And you can charge with your iPhone USB-C case of AirPods. I would imagine if you have USB-C to Lightning cable, you could actually do that with the original AirPods Pro case as well. I don't think you would need a new case.
You probably would. Yeah. I bet you that would work.
I can charge my iPhone through my iPad right now. So that's the thing. And earpods, those things that Apple used to include with your iPhone, now have a USB-C version, which is very neat. And MagSafe is unchanged. Rumors of MagSafe 2, unfounded, same MagSafe, as best as we can tell.
Yeah, they'll upgrade it one day, but I mean, it's all like before this USB-C announcement, they had a whole segment on wireless connectivity.
Yes.
And here's all the great ways you can wirelessly do everything on your phone. And oh yeah, there's MagSafe that we've been training you for the last 4 years to adopt and charge with that. And now you have USB-C. So I'm curious how big of an uproar this is going to be this time.
Yeah,
because I think we don't really know. Like, we won't know for a while, but it seems like it'll be less than when they went to Lightning. It
probably depends on the person as well. I know people in my life that don't use computers really, or they use computers that are 10 years old or whatever. If you're a user that uses a computer of any modernity, Windows included, it's USB-C already, and you already use that stuff. I think it'll be just a minority of people that's their only device really that they use at this point. Yeah.
And I think at a logical level, you can only get so mad at Apple for adopting the industry standard. I guess my kind of reasoning is, number one, when they switched to Lightning was brand new and nothing else used it. So zero people had that cable already.
And back then it was an expensive cable.
And it was expensive. And the second reason I think people won't hopefully be as mad this time is that there were so many iPod speaker docks out in the world that people were using that were suddenly completely worthless because the connector was soldered onto the device.
Yes.
And you couldn't just. And now everything's wireless. You're going to use AirPlay or Bluetooth. If it is wired, it's probably a bring your own wire situation. That product, if it has a wire, surely has a USB-C because it needs to work with Android. So
you'll be able to get it. I have a Shure microphone that bolts on to my iPhone through Lightning. That one will be inelegant with an adapter. The other thing I have is a Withings blood pressure monitor, which is Lightning, which I'd imagine I could get an adapter for. But wait, no. I still have that original one, which is actually a 30-pin that I have a Lightning adapter to. I gotta test this, man. I gotta test 30
They can't solve every issue.
30-pin to Lightning to USB-C. I wonder if the Apple's selling a $29 USB-C to Lightning adapter. I would love to test if my Withings 30-pin blood pressure monitor could adapt from 30-pin through Lightning to USB-C.
Okay. So our tasks after this are over is for you to use an adapter on an adapter on an adapter to plug in your Withings thing, and I need to strap my Apple Watch around a chicken breast.
Absolutely,
and see how hot it is.
Absolutely, yeah. I do have the daisy chain of using a original 2001 iPod with modern Macs through 4 different adapters, going from FireWire to all the different things, and that does work.
So we'll see. For my part, I'm super happy about it.
Yeah, let's unify
my life
the
is
plugs.
USB-C everywhere except my freaking phone.
Everywhere. Except for AirPods Max and Apple. I'd imagine at the next Mac event will update the Mac accessories, I would hope.
Yeah, that's the weirdo now. So the only brand new Lightning products. They have
AirPods Gen 3 or 2, whatever the standard AirPods are, and AirPods Max, and
AirPods Max, and their computer accessories,
and some charging gear like the MagSafe Duo thing.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, and the MagSafe, just battery pack.
Oh, that too. That battery pack as well.
Yep, you're right.
What's your thing about MagSafe? Do you think it's taken off with normies, or is it just a geek thing?
I think it has. I have no numbers for this, but I do see a lot of MagSafe accessories on shelves, and I see people buying them, especially the battery packs. Those are everywhere. And again, those charge with USB-C.
Yeah.
So outside of Apple's. So yeah.
And they've been shipping USB-C bricks for a long time now. Well, they haven't been shipping them. They've been offering them.
Correct.
And that's what, and they have been shipping Lightning to USB-C cables for a while now.
Correct. Yeah, they started doing that with the iPhone 12.
And the Apple Watch has USB-C terminating end as well.
Yep. Yeah, so I really hope it's not a thing. I'm sure we'll get clickbait.
Yeah,
stuff,
I'm sure some media outlets will try to take advantage.
Yeah, there's people who already decided people are going to be upset. So
and same $7.99 price point with carrier activation to save that $30 or whatever it is.
Yeah. So stupid.
Yes.
But okay.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else in the 15?
Pricing, I guess, was a nice surprise, right? We were worried things were going to get more expensive, and they didn't.
No. Well, we were expecting it for the pros, which we still need to dive into the pros.
Okay. We'll wait. But yeah, so same price for the 15.
Yeah. Same storage tiers, good upgrade. No change there.
Mm-hmm. I think it's a really good upgrade.
I really wish 256 was the new baseline for every phone at the same price points, but that's not happening.
Yeah, I think 128 is still okay.
It's fine.
It's getting maybe there, but
yeah,
it's. I feel like we're not. I feel like we were stuck at 16 gigabytes for a couple years, where it was legitimately hard to recommend any human getting that model.
But 128 is fine for most people.
128's okay. Yeah, I'm still gonna get the 256 because I just never want to run out. But yeah.
Yeah, my storage on my 256 phone is currently, I've got 39 gigs free, so I'm very happy in the 256 space.
I have 157 gigabytes free.
Now I can probably tell you that
this year,
Overcast is probably over downloading stuff. I could probably live in the 128 world if I really needed to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall.
Yeah, Overcast is using 57 gigs on my phone, so that's probably doing it.
Ooh. Yeah, you gotta tell it to delete some episodes.
But yeah, overall 15. Biggest update for, I think, the standard phone in a while. These past few years, 13 and 14 has just been very lame.
14 was maybe the smallest update year over year I think I've ever seen from Apple. So yeah, this was a good update. This is a very good update, I think, for this line.
In Dynamic Island everywhere, let's have those apps start using that more.
Yep. Yeah, last year that was we were wondering, is that going to be like a pro only thing for a while? And no, thank goodness.
That's great.
So
I love the Dynamic Island. Everyone should have it. Yep. Titanium, which seems cool. Lightest Pro model ever was their pitch. And that's how they opened with the 15 Pro, is just this titanium. That's what it's all about. Thinnest borders ever. By a little bit. Little.
By the tiniest margin. Yep.
And it's using grade 5 titanium. And of course, they say it's used on the Mars rovers.
Of course they do.
Yeah. And we've got all sorts of different shades of titanium here. We've got white, silver, natural, black, and blue. They're kind of all the same, one could say.
Yeah. I think they look better than the renders we saw early.
Yeah.
There's a little more variation. but it's definitely what shade of gray do you want?
And I think we both agree that natural titanium is the one true answer if you're wanting the best titanium. Don't use any of that coating stuff. Just do the natural. Let that metal shine through.
Yeah. Although for listeners, you should buy the other colors so we can get ours without delay.
Absolutely.
I'm always worried about buying the popular color.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. That is the thing. But the titanium, it just looks nice. It's the same as the Apple Watch Ultra, so you'd be matched there.
That's true.
Yeah.
But yeah, kind of bummed by the colors, but I will still be upset about it, but I don't know how many years I can get super upset about a thing they seem to clearly believe in.
I wonder if the natural will feel different in the hand from the coated one. It must, right? The coating must add some kind of feel to it.
Maybe? It's a good question.
Yeah.
Should probably buy 2 of them.
Right? Absolutely. Yeah. You can ship the extra to me if you got an extra.
Okay. Yeah. I'll do the YouTuber thing. I'll buy them all and then return them 2 days later.
But titanium looks great. I want them to make a gold titanium next year. You can infuse it with gold, get some gold dust you put in there as well. You know, that literally use gold dust. They said they used recycled gold in some of the parts. Put some gold dust in there.
Yeah, a gold one of these would look really good in this lineup, actually.
It would.
That'd be a good one.
Because I'm a sucker for the gold. I got the gold watches ever since the Series 0. I got the gold aluminum there and have been gold ever since. And got the gold watch.
The gold aluminum, okay. Phew. Not the gold edition.
Oh, no. Not since $10,000. No, I held out. I did not get the Apple Watch at launch. I got in the fall when they added the gold aluminum. That's what put me over the edge for the Apple Watch initially.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm eBaying the gold
the real
original
gold
editions.
They're hard to find on eBay. They show up every now and then, and they're still insanely priced.
Are. Huh.
They're still insanely priced. They're pretty rare to show up there. I have seen them occasionally.
Ooh, yeah, I've got one listed here for $7,000.
Oh, it's a steal.
It's only 2 Vision Pros.
Right, yeah. And this one doesn't run any software.
Yeah, exactly.
And they mentioned it's a 14-hour process to make the PVP coatings and stuff. So in my mind, the natural ones should actually be cheaper by that logic, right? You should have a little discount there.
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The next thing, the action button. They showcased that we're finally getting rid of this switch that's been with iPhone since day one, and we're making it even better. So by default, you click and hold this button, and it gives you haptics to tell you you're changing from silent to ring, or you can use shortcuts or a bunch of other built-in features.
Yep.
And I'm not sure if shortcuts will be able to do contextually aware things, like at nighttime do this shortcuts feature. I'm sure Matthew Casnelli will be figuring all that stuff out.
Oh yeah, he'll be digging in. Yeah, I wonder if focus modes could do something with this, or if you could you're right, because that's the sort
that'd be cool.
Like
if you're in this focus mode, do this action.
Yeah, if I'm at work, I want this. If I'm in travel mode, I want translate. If it's after 8 p.m., I want flashlight, right?
Yeah.
Like that sort of thing would be kind of cool.
That would be neat.
That's probably an iOS 18 or 19 update, though.
Yeah, or maybe the shortcuts gurus can put together some 5,000 line shortcut that they can share with people.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks nice, and I like that they set it so that it seems like a quick tap doesn't do anything, but you have to hold down.
Which is very smart.
For it to perform the action, which is good. So reduces the odds of accidental inputs.
I love a double tap ability as well here.
Yeah, can you double tap?
I do not know. Yeah, I'm not sure if that's been announced yet.
Yeah, kind of like the accessibility thing. Like a double tap is this, a triple tap is this, like on the back of the phone.
Yeah.
Something like that. But yeah, I mean, it's a 1.0. It's the initial release. I think it's fine. They'll see what people do with it.
Yeah,
and I'm sure we'll get updates that add some of the things that are missing.
Yeah, they mentioned you can
I'm excited
the camera
about
with this thing, or Flashlight, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
A17 Pro chip. So Bionic is dead. No more Bionics.
Dead. Garbage. Throw it away.
A17 Pro, which kind of goes along with the Pro, the Max, the Mac naming of chips a little bit, which
it leaves some space for a iPhone Ultra next year, right?
Oh,
another
that's
chip.
That's a good
even.
point. An A18 Ultra chip, because they could do different variants, and there's no A17 standard chip, so they could introduce that next year with the iPhone 16.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, iPhone Studio.
Ooh,
whatever you want.
Right? Yeah. This is the world's first 3nm chip, according to Apple.
You know what that is though? That's the iPad. The iPad is the iPhone Studio.
Right. But yeah, 3nm chip, which everything's tighter together. I guess it's a big deal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, people are excited about the size, which is good, and it seems like they've leaned into battery life on it, so not just performance improvements, but actually improving the battery.
Does it market it as
very happy
better
with.
Battery life than last year's models?
I'm on the spec page. Oh, it actually says it's the same.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Oh no,
which is surprising to me. Maybe in real world it actually gets better battery life than the 14 because people were not happy with the 14, yourself included.
I hope so. Yeah, I'm definitely one of those who was disappointed in the 14.
I came from the 12 mini, so
life.
Anything after that is just like
Yep. But you know, more performance, which is fine. You know, if you only keep your phone for a couple years, it's fine, but it doesn't matter. But if you keep it for longer than that, then the performance is going to pay off. They did a lot with games this time as well. They talked about like ray tracing. They showed off some
console games. Those are a big push. Console games come to iPhone. Assassin's Creed Mirage is early next year. The Division Resurgence is early 2024. Is Resurgence a console game or is that a new game?
I didn't see that one.
So I'm not
familiar with that game though.
I know there's the Division 2, which has been out for a while. I wasn't sure if Resurgence was.
Oh, the Division Resurgence. That's a new game.
It's a new game. Okay.
Pretty
Coming
sure.
to PS5 and consoles.
Maybe.
Okay.
This is genuinely the first time I've heard of that game.
Yeah, I've not heard of this one.
But yeah.
Your favorite game in the world, Resident Evil Village, is coming to iPhone, as well as the 4 remaster, which 4 came out to both Xbox and PlayStation, or was that a PlayStation exclusive for consoles?
That one came out, PlayStation and Xbox, as and PC and Mac.
Okay, so
not Mac. That's Village. I'm mixing them up.
Yeah,
but yeah.
So, and 4 is coming to PSVR 2 as well at some point soon.
Nice. Yeah, the VR mode. I'm gonna have to try it and see how they made it work. I'm curious.
It's great. I have no use of this stuff because like I'm always gonna want to play on my PlayStation. Or I want those trophies. That's where I play my games. I guess if I'm in the middle of nowhere with no internet, this is great. So I can load on some of these games to have.
Yeah, the novelty of it is going to be interesting, but yeah, I probably wouldn't recommend playing these games.
I'd still rather have this stuff on my
phone.
iPad if it's going to come in mobile. And do you think this stuff will run on the M1 chip? Like, it seems like it should, but does this A17 Pro have stuff the M1 doesn't? Maybe?
I would hope so. Because you can run... Village
runs on the M1 Mac, right?
It does. It runs surprisiprisingly well, too.
So hopefully... Village and these games also run the M1, M2 iPad Pros. I would hope
that'd be great.
Because they showed pairing a DualSense with your iPhones. Like, who's doing that? Your screen's gonna be so much further away. Like, it makes sense with an iPad, or Apple TV, but
maybe if you got like a little like phone holder to put on the controller,
right?
But,
yes,
yeah. But yeah, they showed like ray tracing functionality. They talked about Metal FX upscaling, which is kind of their version of DLSS or FSR, and it was very weird. Like I felt like I was watching like a Digital Foundry video.
It looks
almost
great.
For a minute.
I was watching this on my 27-inch gaming monitor from Sony, same one you have.
Same one I have.
It looked like I was looking at console games. Like it didn't look bad at all. I'm not sure if this was real footage or not from the actual iPhone.
It usually is. They're usually pretty honest with the footage.
Because I know when Switch upscales to a big screen, it generally doesn't look great because like when you make a mobile game, and blow it up, it's stretching out a smaller image, and this looks great. So it'll look even better on a small screen.
Exactly. So yeah, it's gonna be a very weird day. I pray that my Mac App Store purchase of Village carries over as like the same app or whatever. It probably won't, but
yeah,
it'd be great.
You can't transfer save files from PS5 to Mac or anything like that, right? It's all self-contained.
I don't think so. No cloud sync.
Okay.
Sadly.
Yeah, some games have like their own like UB Connect or whatever.
Yep.
There was an original 128K Mac in the background of this section, which I thought was just very humorous during the chip talk.
Mm-hmm.
They have that back there.
Always fun. How far we've come.
I know, right? Yeah. And there was an iPod Hi-Fi at one point in the presentation as well.
The GOAT.
You know, as we transfer away from Lightning, let's bring back the iPod.
Like truly having a Lightning connector on in the video, just a slap in the face. How dare you?
I know, right?
Bring up that old.
Twice faster neural engine for this new chip. It's got an AV1 decoder for decoding video better, which I'm not sure how.
Is that a problem?
Yeah, I wasn't sure on that one.
Yeah, unclear the value there.
And then my favorite thing during this whole chip presentation was this, Matt. This new chip, the A17 Pro, supports USB 3 up to 10 gigabits. And I'm wondering myself here, this A17 Pro supports USB 3. The iPad Pro in 2017 with the Lightning connector also supported USB 3. This is in 2017. I'm looking up now what chip the iPad Pro from 2017 ran. But it's kind of remarkable that this isn't Thunderbolt or 3.2, but literally the same speeds we had in 2017 on our iPads. So the iPad Pro 2017 had on it the A10X Fusion chip. So that X part of it, the 3 speed.
Those extra GPU cores.
Right. It's the most baffling thing in the world that they've never done Lightning USB 3 outside of that one generation of iPads.
Yeah. I mean, maybe it was so that they could have the slide today where they're like, our USB connections or speeds are 20 times faster than last year's phone. It's like, well, they've been that fast since like 2012. So
yeah,
you just refuse to improve it ever.
Mm-hmm. They also mentioned they're using USB 3 with the Capture One app. So you can live capture photos or videos to your Mac?
Yep. So this is a feature that basically all the photo editing apps like Lightroom does this as well. You can basically wire up, or some do it wirelessly even, you can wire up your camera, your real camera, and then as you're shooting, it's immediately saving them into your photo library so someone else can start working on them, or they're just instantly transferred. So they're used a ton on photo shoots, like in studios. So if you're using a phone in that scenario, that should slot in pretty well.
That's really cool. And you can also record ProRes to external drives at 4K 60, which that's huge.
Yes.
So you don't need to buy like a 1 terabyte iPhone, so just hook up to a drive.
You'll need a 17 terabyte
and
drive.
You won't even need to use USB. Well, you'll use USB 3 for the recording, but I was going to say you don't need the long transfers at that point.
Yes, that's true, because it'll just be happening. Yeah. But yeah, that's I do a lot of video stuff, and I tried using ProRes on my phone. It just wasn't worth it. AirDrop would time out.
You're just waiting all day to do your video.
Yeah, AirDrop would take like over an hour to transfer a short video, and it would like give up because like AirDrop has a maximum time apparently, or it did a couple years ago. And then the wired connections were just, it felt like being on a spinning hard drive again. It was so painful. So never did again. So this is great.
And this supports log encoding and the ACES format for color workflows in Hollywood. This is a big deal, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. You can if you shoot in log, that helps you get better dynamic range out of your video. And then you can basically run it through some LUTs and get it into looking more normal.
Yeah, a natural sensor. It's a second generation 48 with it's a larger sensor. And I love this. They're having this reduced lens flare like coating on the different lenses this time. I think it's a coating. But this has been a problem for a while of lens flare
forever.
Yeah.
At least I think it's when they started doing multiple lenses, because I think what you're seeing is the light reflecting through like another camera lens that's like leaking into this one.
Maybe.
I think that's what I've heard. I'm not 100% sure on that, but it is so annoying when you're shooting like at night. You get like those weird highlight artifacts. It's not fun. So that'd be cool if those were improved.
Yeah. And we're getting 7 different lenses, so to speak, focal lengths within this camera system.
Big quotes, lenses.
Yes. Some of them are digital, artificial ones, but as we spoke earlier, the 2X is a very good lens in my use.
It's true.
I think Apple does a good job with this stuff, even though it's not, as John Syracuse would probably say, the genuine artifact or the real thing. And in some people's brains, I'm going to just shoot in 48, and that's what it's going to be. And
I want to look at that interface, because did they switch it? No, it still is 1x, 2x, 3x. I was wondering if they had switched it to like showing you the millimeter equivalents, like the lens.
Yeah, it's weird. How do they display this? Because there's macro, there's 13, 24, 28, 35, 48, and 120, if you're talking about the Pro Max.
Yeah, but in the interface, it looks like it's still 0.5, 1, 2, and 5 now instead of 3x.
So I wonder how you easily, and you can set something as the default now as well. So 2x could be your default mode.
Yeah, I'm very excited about that, because I often like to zoom in a little bit more as my default. So it'll be cool not to have to do that every single time.
Yeah. So I'm curious how that's implemented with all these different, these aperture distances and stuff.
And third-party apps must be chomping at the bit to see how this works and how they can make their apps even better now too. Yeah,
and the Pro Max, it's getting a 5x.
5x, yes.
So not 6x, with 120 millimeter at 5x, 25% larger sensor. And it's using a Tetriprism Design, which this design seems to only go in the little sensor array. In my mind, the reason the Pro Max was getting this was because it's going to go up and down the phone. That's not happening. So it seems like this design could easily fit into the Pro.
Yeah, I do wonder about that too, because it's not the periscope kind of internal design that other, like Samsung is doing.
Because the periscope goes up and down the whole phone, right? Or a lot of it.
Yeah, some of the phone.
So Tetriprism.
But it looks interesting. I don't think it's enough for me to want to go Max for just that, but it'll be interesting to see what people
right now.
I'm a big phone user right now, but I'm trying to recover.
Oh, you're going to go down size.
I'm going to go down a size, yes.
Okay. So it'll be much lighter then.
Significantly lighter, yes.
Yes. And you did have a look before about the lightness changes here. It's about 9 times lighter for
9% lighter.
9% lighter for the Pro phone, 8% lighter for the Pro Max.
Yes.
So that's significant, but it's not like half as light or something crazy.
Yeah. But it seems like it would be enough to notice.
Yeah, I think you'll definitely notice it, yeah.
What I don't think you'll notice is the smaller width and height that they talked about.
Yeah.
They talked about reducing the bezel size, so keeping the screen the same size, but bringing the bezels in.
Right.
It's less than 1 millimeter on each side.
You'll just notice the curved edges, so it won't feel as harsh in your hand.
The curved edges will help, yeah. So, and it is a little thicker as well, so a very small amount, but once again, they are thicker.
Yeah. Better than low light with this thing here, this camera system. And at the very end, they announced something that I did not expect. I guess I should have. This camera system shoots spatial video, Matt, for the Apple Vision Pro. And
Yes,
I'm both angry, but also very ecstatic that this can be done, because I really want everything I shoot to be in spatial video, because that's, I think, going to be amazing to just relive these memories, especially with a newborn in the house. But
Yeah,
I'm still...
yeah, you've got incredible timing for this new sort of video.
Yeah. And
Wow.
Right? Yeah. But
That's great. It's exciting.
Yeah. It is.
And it's the sort of thing. So I'm going to do a slight victory lap, because on WWDC, the day of the keynote, I was like, wouldn't it be cool if the iPhone 15 Pro this year could shoot spatial video?
Right. So
and
when you have the Apple Vision Pro, you have all this content already.
You'll have all this content already. And people were like, no, it's impossible. They'd have to separate the lenses more. And I was like, I think they can do it. So I was cheering in my living room when they announced this. I'm not going to have a Vision Pro on day one, but I'm so happy
you say that now, Matt.
It makes sense.
You say that now.
I have been threatened with near divorce.
Oh, you brought this up.
So we will see. We'll see.
Yes.
How dedicated to the Apple fandom am I?
Well, you just need to shoot a bunch of spatial videos of the cute little puppy, and then that will be your selling point.
That's true. And I'll be like, how do we watch this video?
Exactly.
You want to appreciate this video.
Exactly. Yeah.
I got the headset.
Yeah. But because the lenses seem like they're arranged the same as the 14 Pro. It seems like the spacing, nothing's different, but they're doing some kind of trickery to capture this stuff. It's using the main sensor and the ultra wide to capture this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I would suspect kind of like what they're doing. We talked about the photos where it's figuring out depth and letting you refocus after the fact. I wonder if they're able to get some separation from the like inch between the lenses.
Yeah.
And then they're able to use software to kind of like enhance and kind of give you, I guess, an estimation. I bet you the video you take on the Vision Pro headset will look better.
Because it's going to be 240.
This will get you something.
Right. Because 12 megapixels, that's 4K, is it?
Ish.
Okay.
You can. It's bigger than 4K, a little bigger than 4K, I think. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I know the Vision Pro you're capturing two video things in 4K, but the separation's gonna be much better there. So yeah, I would imagine it's gonna be better on Vision Pro, those videos, but the convenience factor is you'll have so much more of these videos than the Vision Pro captures.
Yeah.
I am looking forward
4K
to 4K
is 8.2K.
Okay. I am looking forward to Vision Pro as a camera thing from time to time, because they'll be hands-free, being able to, trying to shoot some videos where you need your hands. That's gonna be a good scenario for some stuff.
Yeah, and you could maybe even use the double pinch for the Apple Watch to remote start and stop the video on your headset.
I'm curious if I can record stuff with the headset on a stand type thing. I want that to be a feature.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Will it stop functioning when it's off a head? Like how an Apple Watch kind of stops doing things when you take it off your wrist?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I would like that to work, because that'd be cool to just kind of have it set up for some stuff. But
mounted on a tripod.
Exactly. Yeah, there'll be a whole market for this stuff. But yeah, I was super excited when they announced it. It's like, but at the same time, I was like, T-Mobile, I'm still got this year left maybe from the 14 Pro. I don't know if they'll let me swap my phone out. Probably not. Or if it is, it's a bunch more money. It's like I already said, I'm getting the Apple Vision Pro early next year. I don't have extra money to just toss around right now. So I'm probably
you're buying 3 iPhones early next year, effectively.
Yeah. So So even with this feature, this is the night before this event. The one feature I'm waiting for to upgrade is spatial video capture, and they announced it.
They did it.
But I can't upgrade this year. So
that's absolutely. Yeah, that's the sort of thing someone says when they're like, I'm going to talk myself out of it. So here's an impossible thing.
Exactly.
And then it happens. And you're like, oh no.
Yes. But yeah, this seems huge. I no spatial images, just videos, it would appear. That was at least their wording.
I believe so. I had actually forgotten spatial images were a thing on the Vision Pro, but
Yeah, they are. You can just do still frames, which seem less cool, but still neat.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I'm very curious how big these video files will be. And it'll be fun to compare this file size between these and Apple Vision Pro captured videos as well when that launches.
Yeah, there's a lot of
I also
there's
wonder,
a lot of questions.
Yeah, I also wonder, Matt, what these video files will be like, if there will be some program on the Mac to convert these to 3D standards so you could output these in a way that you could play them elsewhere. Because that'll
probably not from Apple.
Probably not from Apple. I wonder if this is a third party opportunity, as they say.
Yeah, you might be able to.
Yeah, I wonder what this data what the structure of this file is like,
It's very weird. Like this whole, I know they didn't this isn't the Vision Pro's podcast.
Yes.
But it is very interesting how the Vision Pro is making us think about things that we didn't have to think about before. Like I had a pretty good grasp on video quality and image, like all this stuff, but these questions about what will the file size be? Can you convert it? Will it work with other things? Like how does this? I don't know yet.
Yeah,
it's
right?
very it's interesting. It's exciting. It's just a new phase.
Yeah,
which is cool.
And then the new Pro phones have 6E and Thread support. I don't know. Thread has always been like a accessory thing. I'm not sure what the benefit of Thread is on the phone. I guess when you're in the house, it helps stuff talk better together.
In theory, I still don't understand Thread and Matter and how they're different. I've seen a million explanations. I still don't totally get it.
Yeah. And then these come out on September 22nd.
Yes.
Which is like a week from Friday, I think.
Yep. So pre-orders this Friday, delivery and pickup the following Friday.
Storage sizes are the same, and the rumor was the phones are getting more expensive, but actually what's happening is just the Pro Max is losing the 128 gigabyte capacity and starting at 256. Same price as the one I got last year. Just there's no 128 option. Which that seems like the best way to do a price hike is just same storage. That lower one doesn't exist. If you're going to do it, that's the way to do it.
Yeah, it's a little frustrating maybe, but for some people, but it's better than it could have been.
Yeah, and this is the price. This is the storage tier that is like the easier one to do, because once you get the 512, I think it's like a $200 upgrade versus just the 100 to 256.
Yeah, it's $200 more for 512 and another $200 for a terabyte.
Yeah. The 100 jumps are easier than the 200 jumps for sure.
Yeah, anyone can justify a $100 jump, but
absolutely
a $200 one. Ooh, we're talking about something more.
No now. 2 terabyte iPhone yet. Even with all these
I feel like videos. That was, I feel like that was rumored, but
and then
I guess I'd have to start.
So
256.
Like the last 30 seconds of the show was just nonstop for me. We had Spatial video announced. And then the big thing I've been yelling at Apple for a while here is my 2 terabyte plan has been maxed out for a long time. I had this. I own 2 different 2 terabytes plan, one for half my family, one for everyone but me, and then one for me. So we have 4 terabytes in the house with 2 different plans going on. You'll now be able to have a 6 terabyte plan for $30 a month, $10 more than the. Wait, is that right? Is 2 terabytes? Is that one? Is that $10? I think actually might be. So it's $30 for 6 terabytes and $60 for 12 terabytes. Which that seems pretty good price wise. Yeah,
I mean the numbers are getting pretty astronomical, but iCloud pricing is usually pretty competitive, so this is about spot on.
But I'm so glad these plans exist, because like videos are getting bigger, we're getting more photos, and Apple is being very stubborn with like, this is it, there's no options, and like if you have an iPad Pro that's 2 terabytes in size and you use all that space and it all backs up to iCloud, that's your entire plan right there for 2 terabytes.
Yep. That's it. I'm looking up how much Google charges, but it's not easy to find the upgrade page. So
yeah, and it's still unclear
Totally
how this will
that's right.
factor in the Apple One Premium, if anything will be changed there, but probably not.
yeah, that's the other reason I'm struggling is I have Apple One, so I'm not exactly sure how much the storage portion specifically costs.
Yeah, but I'm so glad these exist, and I'll probably be utilizing these. I gotta look at the pricing if it is cheaper than what I'm currently doing. It may not be if it's $10 for a 2 terabyte plan, and I just have the 4 terabytes that we're good with for now. But it's good to know that these are around if I want to unify in the future or start using even more data, which I'll try not to.
So it looks like Google has 5 terabytes for $21 a month.
Okay.
So that's pretty good.
So that's pretty
And if you want
comparable
15 terabytes, 15 terabytes is $300 a month.
Oh, and 12 terabytes is just 60. So it seems like that's much better if you're at the higher end. Right?
This seems almost crazy.
Yeah, Apple's pricing seems better than Google's, it would appear, even at the end. How are you in iCloud space? Are you close to full?
I hadn't checked it in a long time, but I'm also on the 2 terabyte plan, and I'm currently using 1.2 terabytes. So I've still got some time. But yeah, I've got 760 gigabytes of photos and videos alone. So
yeah, I'm at 1.7 terabytes, and that's just me. My family's on a different plan.
Mm-hmm.
My backups are
Excellent.
611 gigabytes. Most of that being my iPad. So
wow.
I'm working through Ferrites and trying to clean that up a bit to reduce.
Yeah. Okay. This is the iCloud storage page in your settings is a scary place.
Isn't it?
I have 400 gigabytes of documents, only 40 gigs of backups, but what are those 400 gigs of documents?
That file's at, man. It's filled up.
Yeah, I got to check this out.
And then the OS's launch pretty close to each other this year. The Mac is on September 26th, and iOS and iPad and the Watch, I presume, is on the 18th of September. So coming up very soon here. So the 18th is a little bit less than a week from the day, next Monday. And the 26th is 2 weeks from the day, the 26th. So that's all good to hear.
That's good. Yeah, it's good to see the Mac not being delayed a month or two like it sometimes is.
Yes, often. Yeah. But yeah, any final thoughts here on Wonderlust?
Final thoughts. I was relatively happy with the update. I feel like it was a linear increase in interest as we went on. I thought the watch stuff was kind of whatever.
Yeah.
But that's coming from the perspective of someone who has the previously newest watch.
Right.
The iPhone 15 was pretty good, pretty solid update. Mm-hmm. And then the Pro phones I thought added kind of what I would have wanted. So it looks like a good update for the phones for sure. And then not controversial, but just kind of minor for the Apple Watches.
And you're excited to upgrade to the Pro, the smaller Pro this year?
I'm super excited to get a smaller phone. I do a lot of jogging is my kind of exercise of choice.
And are you telling me you run with the phone?
Yeah.
You have an Ultra watch. Why does bring your watch?
Podcasts, camera.
The camera I get, but the podcasts run great in the watch. I run podcasts all day long in the watch. It's great that way.
I
use the Outcast
I have not
app.
had as good an experience.
The Outcast app is where it's at for the watch.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a separate thing. You got to like download them there, and it's
you have to think about it. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah.
But anyway. Yes.
Anyways,
so I bring that phone with me, and that is just a big weight in my like shorts as I run, and it's not fun.
Your pants have not dripped down as you're running yet.
They drifted, yes. Fallen, no.
Yeah, that thing is heavy. That is like a brick. Yeah.
It is like a brick. Yeah. So the smaller phone will be very exciting.
Nice, yeah.
I'll miss the 5X lens, but I probably wouldn't use it that much.
Right.
So it'll be the majority of the time I'll enjoy the smaller size. So I think I'll be happy.
And you're sticking with 256.
We'll see. We'll see.
Okay.
I'm not.
I mean, as we pointed out, you aren't
but...
using the full capacity of that quite yet.
Yeah, but we'll see. I feel like I'm haunted by those.
Yeah, you'll be capturing 24 megapixel images going forward.
Yep. Yeah. I'll probably get the 256. Anytime my phone, it hasn't done it in years, but I have just horrible memories of like trying to install an app or do anything on my phone, and it's like, you're out of storage, delete, and like I can't do it again.
Yeah.
So it'll probably be 256.
Yeah. Cool. No, today was a cheap day because I'm not getting anything, and hopefully next year we get the gold titanium and even better spatial video capture with an much improved ultra wide sensor or something like that.
There you go.
But yeah, I'll be looking eagerly over at everyone upgrading, but I'll just know Apple Vision. I'm just going to get you day one, and that's going to be an expensive purchase, and I'm looking forward to that one.
Yep. Yeah. That hold out. That one's going to be the big one.
Yes. Because I'm sure I'm going to want to get some cases for my Apple Vision Pro, and like it'll be a little, be a thing. Anyways. Well, besides the hardware, you're excited for all the OS launches. Are you doing a Watch OS 10 review this year, as you are the Watch guy in my mind?
Thank you, but no, I don't plan on doing it.
Oh, okay.
WatchOS, which is kind of a shame because WatchOS 10 is it's
a big one.
Is a pretty substantial update. I think it's the most notable update of the kind of major operating systems they've got this year. So
yeah,
it'll be a good one, but I'll let everyone else kind of stress out about reviews over the next week and just relax.
Yeah, I'm very excited for all the interactive widgets to start to hit, and the widgets and the watch to hit that go down there. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Those will be good. Up. Yeah, standby mode, standby widgets will be great to have because I've only had Apples all summer, but it's still a great feature. Standby mode is awesome.
Yeah. Well, where can folks find your awesome blog and videos and all that?
Yeah, you can find me on YouTube. It's probably the best place these days. It's A Better Computer, where I do a lot of videos about tech stuff. Just launched what I'm considering a season 2 of the channel, so trying to upgrade everything, try to talk about things that are more timeless and up the video production quality. So a couple of those are there from the past couple of weeks. And I've been writing a blog for 13 years at birchtree.me. So tons of stuff there if you just want random thoughts about tech and a little bit of politics here and there. But
yeah, very cool. Well, thank you so much for your time today. This is always a fun thing to do, to kind of gather our thoughts after Apple events.
Yeah, these are always great. So always happy to talk to you.
Well, that's my discussion with Matt all about the Wonderlust event. Make sure to check out Matt's work over at www.birchtree.me. My thanks to Matt for his time recording, and my thanks to you for your time and attention tuning in. As a reminder, you can support the show by trying out Agenda. Learn more at www.agenda.com. My thanks again to Agenda for sponsoring this episode of iPad Pros. You can get early access to both iPad Pros and Vision Pros by subscribing at patreon.com/iPad Pros or in Apple Podcasts. With that, I'll talk to everyone again real soon.